Friends, hope you're all doing well. How are you? Hope you're all fine. And I believe you must have seen the first part of the video, the same chapter, that is fun they had. And this is the second part, and I'm Miss Roshna Rachel Phillip. Okay, now let's move on. So this was a if you have seen that first part, this was the last slide. Okay, this was the last slide. I just inserted this slide to make my students to have a quick revision. Okay, so we end the first part of the story with Margie's awestruck expression. She couldn't believe that a man can be smart enough to be a teacher. So these two kids, that is Margie and Tommy, they were reading a book, and they are they are actually in future, that is in 2157, and they were in that book. They got a book from Attic. Who got the book from Attic? It was Tommy. Tommy got the book from Attic, and they were reading about the schools which was centuries back. Okay, at that time they came to know, Margie came to know that it was the man, it was actually the men were the teachers. So she couldn't believe that man can be smart enough to be a teacher. So now just move on. Okay, so Margie couldn't believe that man would be smart enough to be a teacher, but Tommy rejected it by saying that his father knows as much as his teacher. So to make Margie believe that man can be smart enough to be a teacher, Tommy said that my father, he is a man. He is much smarter than his teacher, his mechanical teacher. My father knows as much as his teachers. So that was Tommy's reply to Margie's awestruck expression. And now, Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. See the word dispute? Margie wasn't prepared to dispute that. Dispute means disagree with. So Margie was in a mood. She was not in a mood to dispute with um, Tommy's saying that his father is smart as a teacher. So she said, I wouldn't want a strange man in my house to teach me. Tommy screamed with laughter. You don't know much, Margie. The teachers didn't live in the house. They had a special building and all the kids went there. So, children, this is Margie's idea about school. Because that's how she is, that's where she is. She is in 2157, and her mechanical teacher is at their home, at her room. So when Tommy said that centuries back, it was a man who was the teacher for the children. So Margie thought that a man or the teacher would come to her home and that teacher would teach her. So that's why Margie said like this, I don't want a strange man in my house. So Tommy, at the beginning itself, Tommy is not showing much interest with Margie's conversation with Margie. So he said, oh Margie, it's not like that. Teacher won't come to your home. They had a special building. So which is that special building Tommy is referring to? It is the school. So she's saying that they had a special building and all the kids went there. They won't come here. You have to go there. Teachers won't come to your room or home. So Margie, all the kids learn the same thing? She couldn't believe it. Sure. It's actually Tommy saying, sure, if they were at the same age. So now Margie is saying, but my mother says a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl it teaches, and that each kid has to be taught differently, Margie said. So according to Margie, Margie is a very 12-year-old small girl in 2157, the year 2157. So there we have seen in the part 2, county inspector is coming to their home to actually to repair, we can say that word, repair geography teacher to keep in pace with Margie. So she couldn't believe that all the students of same age will be taught by a man, that is a teacher. She couldn't believe that a man could teach a lot of children of the same age the same thing. She couldn't believe that what her mother have said to her, that is a teacher has to be adjusted to fit the mind of each boy and girl. So she couldn't actually grasp that concept. How can a teacher teach 30 or 40 students in a class where each boy and each girl will be having different mindset, different vocabulary or IQ level? She couldn't believe that because it's all the way different with her concept of school and teacher. So now, just the same, they didn't do it that way then. If you don't like it, you don't have to read the book. So this is what Tommy said. So see, Tommy don't like Margie questioning, raising simple question because he is so much into that book, and I think Tommy is having a see. Tommy is in with a feeling that see, this is my book. I have found this book from the attic. So he says just the same they didn't do it that way then, so accept that, don't ask silly question. That's what Tommy is saying. Okay, if you don't like it, you don't have to read the book, just go away. I didn't say I didn't like it, Margie said quickly. So Margie, she wanted to read about those funny schools, children, not that word funny schools. She feels that the schools we have now is funny, school centuries back is funny. So she said, I want to read the book. I don't say it like that. So she want to read about those funny schools because we can't blame Margie for using that word funny. Because see, children, when you see the old movies, when you refer to old movies, and also it happens to me when I see the old romantic or not romantic, old movies, old Malayalam movies, you feel, sometimes you feel it's so funny because it's entirely different from what we see, what the film industry right now. So because some reactions or some stunt scenes or some dance scenes, everything seems to be a little funny, right? They were legends then, they are legends now also, but you feel as if there's some of their reactions or some of their actions, it for me, I feel that it's a kind of funny at some point of time. So we can't blame Margie for referring to the school century back as funny. Moving on. They weren't even half finished when Margie's mother called Margie's school. So they weren't finished the book. They weren't half finished the book when Margie's mother called Margie's school. So mothers back then, even if it's in centuries back, present, and will be in future also, mothers would be same when comes to these matters of studying and teaching and all. They will always scream at you, please go and study, go and study, and go and study. See, at that time also, Mrs. Johns, that's Margie's mother, she screamed. I will say scream. Margie, school. Margie looked up. Not yet, mama. So children and mothers would be same even if they are in past, in present, and in future also. Mothers would always scold you for this matters related to studies. Okay. Now, said Mrs. Johns, and it's probably time for Tommy too. Now go to school right now. Don't give me lame excuses. Margie said to Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? So I feel sorry for Margie right now, okay? So she is pleasing. She is actually telling Tommy, can I read the book some more with you after school? Maybe, he said nonchalantly. Nonchalantly would be a new word for you, I think so. Nonchalantly means showing not much interest or enthusiasm or careless. he is, from the beginning itself, Tommy is like that. He is not giving much interest to the conversation with Margie. Maybe he don't want actually Margie to be with him to read the book, because he don't want Margie raise silly questions. He walked away whistling the dusty old book tucked beneath his arm. So it's he is walking like he possessed the book, because he is the one who found it from the attic. Margie went into the schoolroom. It was right next to her bedroom. So her schoolroom is right next to her bedroom. And the mechanical teacher was on and waiting for her. It was always on at that. So Margie went to schoolroom, and the schoolroom was right next to her bedroom, and the mechanical teacher was waiting for her. It was always on at the same time every day except Saturday and Sunday. See, every day at the same time, her mother actually on it for her, because except Saturday and Sunday was given as holiday for Margie. So every day at the same time she had to go to school except Saturday and Sunday, because her mother used to say that little girls learn better if they learned at regular hours. That's what Mrs. John's opinion. So she would arrange the school for every day for Margie at same time. So Mrs. Johns used to say that little girls learn better if they learned at regular hours. Saturday and Sunday was given as a holiday for Margie. So as I said, mother and children would be same according to Isaac Asimov, I would say, because mother used to scream. Mrs. Johns was actually screaming at her for her studies, and as we all, as you and as you kids, she was also very reluctant to study. Reluctantly, our Margie went to the school, and the screen lit up and it said, "Today's arithmetic lesson is on the addition of proper fractions. Please insert yesterday's homework in the proper slot." So that's what the mechanical teacher flashes and says. So now Margie had to actually put homework at the proper slot. That's what Margie hated the most. She hated this homework slot the most. Okay. Margie did the homework as directed by the mechanical teacher with a sigh. Because with a sigh means, because she don't like it. At the part one itself, I have said the part which she hated most with the school is with the slot where she had to put the homework. So at the sigh, she does as what directed by the mechanical teacher. She was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. See, Margie is just like any other kids. As me and you, everyone, as a child, I also used to think about some other things when I am in my classroom. So, as you all will be doing the same thing, so Margie is also doing the same thing in her classroom when she was before her mechanical teacher. She is thinking about old school which she where she got the information from with Tommy's book. So she was thinking about the old schools they had when her grandfather's grandfather was a little boy. So this is her idea about the old school. All the kids from neighborhood came, laughing and shouting in the schoolyard, sitting together in the classroom, going home together at the end of the day. They learned the same things, so they could help one another with the homework and talk about it. Wow, it's a very nice picture. I like that picture. So this is what Margie is thinking. She actually misses that kind of school environment, because she is in her bedroom, or not, she is in her, sorry, school room, where she don't have any friends with her. She can't ask for help in her homework to another kid, because it's all she had to do it solely by herself. So she misses that kind of school setting. I think you might also be missing the same school environment, because that is way better, right? But we have to cope up with the situations. And let we all hope this would end soon and we can all come back to school and have this happy picture of Margie into reality. Okay. And she also think that the teachers were people. I think Margie really misses a man to she actually misses a man teacher, I should say. The mechanical teacher was flashing on the screen when we add fractions 1 by 4 and 1 by 2 dash. So this is Margie have to fill it, and Margie is so sad. I think Margie is a very sad kid when coming to this school matters and study matters. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So she was thinking that about the kids, how much the kids must have loved the old days because they were having a lot of friends. They could go to they could go to a building where they could see everyone. So she was thinking about the fun they had. See, Asimov, it's actually a very beautiful thing. See, Asimov have given the title the fun they had for the chapter and ends the chapter with the same title, that is the fun they had. She was thinking about the fun they had. How beautiful he had actually end his short story. Now, coming to the words to remember in this part, first is the dispute. That means disagree with. Who had dispute with whom? Who had a dispute with whom? See, Margie couldn't she doesn't want to have a dispute with Tommy when Tommy said his father is smart as a teacher. And next word is nonchalantly. That means not showing much interest. So here Tommy is nonchalant. He was not showing much interest with Margie's conversation. Thank you, students. Thank you for listening. And as Margie, see, our Margie doesn't like this homework slot and all. But after this video, you will be having a small assignment where the details of the assignment would be given in the classwork slot of your Google Classroom. Please go there and don't be reluctant as Margie. You should do that. Okay. So please go and look at the classwork section. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening, and let's meet in the next video.